Hi, everybody. This is Bill from BCUMC. This is the Gospel of John class. This is day 5 of week 6, and we're going to take a look at John chapter 11, verses 45 through 57. Therefore, many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary had seen what Jesus did, believed in him. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. The chief priests and the Pharisees called a meeting at the Sanhedrin. "What are we accomplishing?" they asked. "Here is a man performing many signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him. And the Romans will come and take away both our temple and our nation." Then one of them, named Caiaphas, who was a high priest that year, spoke up. "You know nothing at all. You do not realize that it is better for you that one man die for the people than the whole nation perish." He did not say this on his own, but as high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the Jewish nation, and not only that nation, but also for the scattered children of God, to bring them together and make them one. So from that day on, they plotted to take his life. Therefore, Jesus no longer moved about publicly among the people of Judea. Instead, he withdrew to a region near the wilderness, to a village called Ephraim, where he stayed with his disciples. When it was almost time for Jewish Passover, many went up from the country of Jerusalem for their ceremonial cleansing before the Passover. They kept looking for Jesus, and as they stood in the temple courts, they asked one another, "What do you think? Isn't he coming to the festival at all?" But the chief priests and the Pharisees had given orders that anyone who found out where Jesus was should report it, so they might arrest him. So now I'm going to read from the book, the Gospel of John, starting on page 83 and ending on 84. The response to this stupendous miracle is mixed. On one hand, some believe in Jesus, though what exactly they believe about him is not said. On the other, some went and reported him to the authorities and prompted a crisis meeting of the Sanhedrin. Things had gone too far, and right under their noses, just outside the city limits of Jerusalem. There is a complaint that whatever actions they had taken to keep Jesus in check thus far had accomplished nothing. And then they expressed their living nightmare, that if they couldn't control their own people, then the heavy-handed Romans might take even more direct control over their temple and their nation. Caiaphas responds that it would be expedient for that one man to die, so that the nation might be spared further, and even worse, nightmares of occupation. Interestingly, the evangelist takes this remark to be unintentional prophecy of what was going to actually happen, and he adds the comment that Jesus would die not only for the Jewish nation, but for all the scattered children of God as well, so that they might all be one. Again, we see irony in the narrative. The very person who wants to do away with Jesus prophesies how he will do away with evil and the effects of sin. Caiaphas was indeed cynical, sarcastic, self-serving man, and this is how the Jewish historian Josephus portrays the Sadducean leaders of the people in general. Thus, the plot to do away with Jesus has hatched. But Caiaphas was not only the only prophet in town. Jesus knew what was coming and retreated to Ephraim, near Judean wilderness, and he does not return immediately when the festival begins. And the people began to ask for him. He will, however, return to Jerusalem for a special celebration in Bethany to dine with Lazarus and his family, now made whole. Let's go ahead and take a look at the questions for this week. What do you think many of the Jews believed about Jesus? What is ironic about the statement made by Caiaphas in verses 49 through 50? What was it about Jesus that so upset the members of the Sanhedrin? Well, this completes week 6. I hope you join us tomorrow as we will discuss in adult Christian education all of what we've read here in chapter 11. We meet at 9:30 a.m. at Berlin Center United Methodist, and we'd love to have you. All right. Until tomorrow, have a great rest of your Saturday, and see you tomorrow, Sunday morning.